Gloves down, beers up.
Saludo para E40. Put it up for the Niners. Bay Area stand up. Latino remix.
Bang bang Niner gang.
Niner ganga.
Bang bang Niner gang.
Niner ganga.
Bang bang Niner gang.
Niner ganga.
Bang bang Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang.
Niner ganga.
Bang bang Niner gang.
Niner ganga.
Bang bang Niner gang.
Niner ganga.
Niner gang.
Click, clack, bang, bang, con mi gang. Los campeones, los jefes del oeste en el fútbol americano. Somos los cabrones. No tenemos competencia. Somos la pesadilla, los mejores de
La liga.
Woo, boy. Now that's what you call a banger, bro.
Thank you,
No.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Fachento,
Thank you.
the boss. Fachento Boss. There is no
What's
the.
going on?
There is
What's
no
going on?
the
What's up,
in there,
everybody?
stuff like that. Ray, man, I've known you for, we're going on what? 20 years maybe?
About 20 years, brother.
20
years. 20 years.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, well, first off, before we even get into just starting to, talk about your career, your life, your ups and your downs in your career, in your life and all that. I want to thank you, bro, for coming on Gloves Down, Beers Up. Salud.
Thank you.
So, for my listeners, because, a lot of folks are going to be like, what are you doing, Dave? You never go outside of boxing and start talking other things. And sometimes I'll go on a short, rant on politics or, and everybody knows that. I always try to keep my interest out of boxing talk, but I kind of felt like I've always wanted to venture out, and kind of show people that there's a lot more to Leave It in the Ring, Dave Duenas, than just,
Of course.
talking boxing, right?
Yeah.
So, bro, I want to thank you for coming on, man, and, about to share a lot of stuff, here on, Gloves Down, Beers Up, bro.
For a second.
Okay. So let me get into, born in Nicaragua, am I right?
Yes.
What
Born in
part?
Nicaragua, León.
Okay. And then you went up, your family decided to migrate over to Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, we went from Nicaragua to Brooklyn.
And how long did you guys end up staying out there?
In New York,
Yeah.
we stayed in Brooklyn. I would say like a good 15, about 15 years, and then moved to Cali.
Why? So what happened there? Like, was it like, you guys wanted a different scenery? Was it like your family had an offering of a better job? Like, why the move? Because that's from going from Nicaragua all the way to New York and then back, over there to California. That's like a lot of traveling.
Oh well, I think imagine the culture shock too, right?
Right.
Going from Nicaragua to straight to New York. You know what I'm saying? So imagine the culture shock going from literally living on the fields. You know what I mean? Like it was country,
Right.
pure country. But more than country, we live like in the jungle. It's actual jungle living, basically.
Really?
Jungle living, right? So it's almost from the jungle going straight to New York. Imagine the culture shock, like, you know what I'm saying? Going
Yeah.
from a third world country too. Keep
Yeah.
that in mind. A third world country coming here to the U.S.
So do you
straight
have
to
do
New
you have a
York.
lot of memories from Nicaragua when you were younger? Because how old were
Oh,
you
of
when you
course.
guys left?
Oh yeah. I do actually.
How old were you when you left to New York?
I was 9 years old when I left Nicaragua.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah.
So
That's crazy. So okay, so you're now in New York. What then?
we were in New York. You know what I'm saying? Again, big culture shock. We didn't know. We basically didn't know. It was big for us, bro. Going to one of the biggest cities in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And making that transaction from Nicaragua to New York, it was big. But we adapt to everything pretty much. So we adapted to New York actually. But then me and my siblings, me and my brothers, because of the lifestyle of New York, and plus we lived in Brooklyn. We lived in Brooklyn, New York. So we started getting into a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? A
Uh-huh.
lot of the time we were constantly fighting. coming home, bloody, black eye, just constantly fights, constantly trouble. And I think once my mother started seeing the same pattern,
Uh-huh.
that constantly fights. I think she wanted to change, give us a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? A different
Right.
lifestyle. So that's what made the change for us. And then one of my uncles actually got shot over there right in front of us too. I
Oh,
literally had a. Remember the payphones back in the day
yeah.
when they were actual payphones?
Yeah.
My uncle got shot on one of those payphone booths, right in front of me and my brother. You know, so I think that did it.
What do
That's
you
where it was like.
what do you think did? I mean, yeah, I mean, if that would have happened, I think my mom would have done the same thing. She would have picked us right up, and we would have moved somewhere else. But
Yeah.
why do you guys think you guys clashed from moving from Nicaragua to New York? Like, why do you think you guys were getting in trouble? Were there not a lot of Latinos? I mean, because this has got to be in the '80s. I would assume there's a lot of Latinos in Brooklyn at that time.
No, well, it's not. It's not what you think. Like a lot of. Okay, so I'll put it to you like this.
Hmm.
I'll put it to you like this. If you never lived in New York, if you never lived in New York,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like people watch movies, people watch videos, and assume, right? They assume like, oh, New York is like this, but you got to live there. You know what I mean? You got to live there to know, the projects, to know the ghetto, to know where you are. You know what I mean? So it was in New York. It was always we were always on defense mode. You know what I mean? Defense, because there was also a lot of racism going on even back then. You know what I mean? Back then it was different. You know what I mean? To If we're gonna keep it real, you know what I mean? Most of the racism we experienced was from African Americans to us. You know what I mean? That's basically what we experienced out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Why? Because I figured because you guys probably, I mean, you started learning the language English right here. I mean, when you got to the States, right? And that's pretty
Right.
much, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Okay. So any good memories from living in New York, or was it all
Uh,
struggle?
I mean, it was all struggle, to be honest with you. The only thing I remember in New York, one of the good times that I did have over there was we used to play hockey. We actually used to play hockey for New York Ranger Little League. You know what I'm saying?
What?
For the New York Rangers Little League.
uh
Yeah, yeah, we did that.
huh.
And I also started boxing out there.
Uh huh.
You know what I'm saying? I started boxing out there, and those are the two sports that I used to do. It was hockey and boxing. And my brothers, they used to do hockey. That's what they like. So I went from hockey, to boxing basically. That's what I ended up.
That's crazy, man. From
Mhm.
hockey, huh? So
Hockey.
was
Yeah.
it on actual ice or was it the roller, like the roller
No, 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 no. Ice, brother. No, no. I
ice?
was on a team. I was on a New York Rangers Little League. I was on an actual team. Yeah,
Wow.
ice hockey. Yeah, I can still skate. You know what I mean? I've never showed that side of me, but I can still
Right.
skate, brother. I can still skate. You know what I mean?
It's.
So
I wonder. Do you think your listeners and your audience they know that about you? Like that's something just revealed? Because I mean I've
no,
known, like I said, I've known you
yeah,
for like 20 years. I never knew that.
yeah, yeah. It's something that I I just basically revealed that right now. On gloves down, beers up. You know what I'm saying? I've never really talked about it before. I don't know. I've never really been asked that specific question.
Uh-huh.
To talk about my childhood basically.
Right.
But definitely, bro, definitely. Like I said, playing hockey and boxing, those were the biggest highlights as far as like having fun. You know what I mean?
Right.
Having fun. But everything else was just struggle. Everything else was just
Right. Now
fights all the time.
you talked a little bit about the prejudice in Brooklyn. The African Americans, and which is something that a lot of folks um, they never really talk about. That there is a racism between
Mhm.
different cultures. Especially if
There
it's
is.
a culture that you would think like the African Americans are not accustomed to, but moving from Brooklyn to California, did you experience that type of racism? Because California is a dominated state of Mexicans. I mean, I've heard, where there's a lot of Mexicanos that have been kind of racist to like people from Salvador or from
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Did you guys experience
Mhm.
that, or were you immediately accepted?
No, we were immediately accepted.
Hmm.
Uh, immediately accepted. Yeah, I've never experienced racism. To be honest with you, from Mexican. Actually, Mexican people are like the biggest. To me personally,
Hmm.
they're my biggest fan base. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even my friends that I met from the beginning, they were always accepting. I never felt, like they were treating me out of pocket. You know what I mean? Treating me different. It's like I'm Nicaraguan, so Nicoya, and boom, they just accepted me. I'm
Right.
Mexican. Okay, cool. And we just, that was it. There was no, in the beginning, of course, the only thing I will get from Mexicans is like, you talk funny, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's different, you know what I mean? Like you
Right.
talk funny,
Your dialect is
you kind of,
different. Right.
yeah, my
Yeah.
accent is different. But back then, remember, I don't know if you remember, back then, um, they didn't really want you to speak Spanish, brother. I don't know if
No.
you remember that. Like
Yeah.
back
No.
then,
I've talked about that, man, numerous times on my podcast. Because
yeah, mhm,
my mom, because Spanish was my first language when I was a
yeah,
kid. Okay, because
yeah,
my mom's
yeah,
from the DFA. My dad's Tejano. He's from Texas. He's from Eagle Pass. So my dad spoke English, and I did this ancestry thing. When you take your DNA, right?
yeah,
And after I did that, they started like emailing you your family tree. So my great great grandfather, like it was like 1810 or something like that. Birth certificates based out of Dallas, Texas.
wow,
But to go back what you're saying, my mom. So when my mom came over here at 14, I believe. Okay.
mhm,
And the reason why my mom was brought here is because my grandfather was offered a job as a tailor, teacher, professor. Okay.
wow,
And so she was brought here. And this is in the times where they would hit you if you spoke
yeah,
Spanish.
yes,
Okay.
wow,
So my first language is Spanish. And then when my mom started, realizing, hey, David's going to start going to school soon. See, she got scared. She says, "Oh, she was just like,
yeah, yeah.
oh." So then it went from strictly Spanish in the house. It went from immediately English.
English. Yep.
So like when I
Yeah.
would come home to talk to who I was on a regular base, man, I spoke to my mom in Spanish. I would come home, bro. It was automatically, she would be like, even though my mom at that time didn't speak very good English, she'd be like, no, speak of me
Yeah.
English.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. 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 Of course.
that's
Of
that's
course.
that's crazy, man. That's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back though before we even start talking about California, because I think I jumped
Yeah.
too far off. Let's talk about your family in Brooklyn. I know you mentioned your uncle. Now, are you? I mean, are you comfortable talking about what happened to him? Of his passing and what happened to him at that phone booth.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
You know,
I
so
definitely.
so let me know because I mean, man, I mean, how old were you when that happened, bro? I mean, that's got to be a crazy
I
experience and
was.
an
I
impact.
was probably like. I would say I was like. Okay. Okay. So what I'm about to tell you though.
Hmm.
Yeah. I was. What I'm about to tell you is. Yeah. Definitely. I was about. Let's see. I was about maybe 12. About 12 years old. But you got to understand. Um, I was used to seeing that. I came from a third world country that was always at war.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was always a war. And even back then, me and my brothers were used to seeing that. Like that wasn't new for us.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't new
Right.
for us. I'll put it to you like this. What I'm about to say, I've never really talked to no one about this, right? I've never
Hmm.
really, a lot of people don't know this part about me. For an example, my father was in the war. My brother, my older brother, he was in the war in Nicaragua. So at 5 years old, I was already carrying my own AK-47.
Wow.
At 5 year old, I was me and my brothers, all of us, everybody had one. So there's no food on the table, there is no education on the table, but there is guns. Okay.
Yeah.
So at 5 years old, I already had my own AK-47. I used to clean it up, break it down, clean everything up, put it together, and shoot it and go practice. You know what I'm saying? And go practice because at that time, by 9, 10 years old, they want to take you. That
Right.
the government comes and grabs you. It's not like here that you volunteer to be in the Marine or in the army.
Right.
Over there, they basically go to you and they take you. They take you basically, and so we were already practicing for that, for because that's what we thought our life was going to be.
Right.
Soldiers. That's all you know. There is no other. There's nothing else. Like I didn't really know what a teacher was, or doctors. We don't hear that. We hear soldier all day long. You know what I mean? You're gonna be a soldier. So so that being said, what happened in New York, it wasn't really. It was so weird, dude. It's like I see him get shot, and I just look at him, and it's like I'm used to that. I'm used to seeing that. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
even back in Nicaragua, so it was kind of like
Right.
I didn't get scared. What scared me
Uh-huh.
was everything that was beautiful, bro. Everything that what scared me was the pavement, the streets, the pavement, the
Yeah.
asphalt, all the paint, all the lights, all the Christmas trees, all that shit scared me
Yeah.
because I've never seen that in my life. You know what I'm saying? So the lights, all the cars, all the taxis, that scared me. But
It's crazy that you say that because if you think about the generation now, I mean, because you're obviously you're you're what your first generation in the United States, right?
yes,
You and your brothers, and
yeah,
I'm first generation, born here in the States from my mom. Um,
yeah,
but like where we grew up, we both grew up in San Jose, and
yeah,
we crossed paths when we were teenagers. But
yeah,
but I grew up in downtown San Jose, and I remember growing up. If you went outside of that little freaking neighborhood, which was like our world, right?
yes,
I mean, it was like a big area for us, but it was like a little speck. You know what I mean? It was not even close to being as big as San Francisco. But if you
right,
there, you told them like, oh, where they go, like, hey, where you from? Oh, downtown San Jose. I always used to hear this and be like, oh man, you live in the ghetto. But like what you just said right now, like my mom came from the DF. My dad came from Eagle Pass, which was the border, where his household didn't even have a floor. It was the dirt. So
yeah, yes,
the ghettos, though, to us, bro, like they were very well taken care of, right?
right,
You know
right,
what I mean? Like I remember going to your house, and the house was like spotless every single time,
yeah,
and we were
yeah, yeah,
considered. We lived you know what I mean? At the time, for us, we didn't know what was considered the ghetto because
yeah.
we had such so much self pride and pride in our neighborhoods, right? It's just
Mhm.
crazy, But going back about your uncle, um, let me ask you this though. So who made the decision, and or how did you guys get the money to get out of Nicaragua at a wartime like that?
That was one of my aunts. One of my aunts that was already here. She's been in New York already. I think she already been here for like a good 20 years, I
Uh-huh.
believe. And then she knows the situation over there. And then basically my mom basically begged her, like help me. I need to get my kids out of here. And we're not the only ones, of course. You know what I mean? There's a lot of kids that were my age that went through what I went through. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
they hold they hold AK-47 at 5 years old, just like I did. So
Right.
it was normal for us. So um, my mom basically was telling her that she wanted us to get us out of that life. You know what I mean? That life that I mean, like I said, there is nothing else. You're gonna be a soldier, most likely. You gotta live in the city
Right.
to become somebody, to have some education. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my brothers, I knew Spanish, but I learned how to write and read Spanish here in the US.
Wow.
So I had no education. Like there was no like I didn't know how to write and read my own language because we didn't have yeah, bro, we didn't have that. We didn't
Right.
we didn't have that. The only education we had was about, you're gonna once you
Survive.
turn a certain age, you're gonna be a
Yeah.
soldier and you're gonna go to war and you're gonna go fight, for your country basically.
Yeah, bet
You gotta
it's
survive, you know what I mean?
surviving. The only thing you guys have time to think about is sleep and eat and where's your next meal gonna come.
Yes.
That's tough, bro. That is
Hmm.
tough, man. That's just so you're up in New York and you're literally in the mecca of the birth of hip hop.
Yeah.
Did
Weird.
when you're let's say you're 12 years old,
Yeah.
did you even I'm probably sure that didn't even hit you yet, right? Until like later on in life. I mean, did you even know that that's what you wanted to do was reggaeton and hip hop? Because reggaeton didn't even
No.
start until later. But the music itself, like, did you know that you had this, music bone in you?
No, not at all. You know what I mean? I, no, no way. It did never cross my mind. Like I said, I was so full. I was full blown into hockey, full blown into boxing, and I didn't have time for music. I always loved music though. Music,
Right.
it's in our blood too. You know what I'm saying? So, but I always loved music. But I've never, ever, 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 ever. You know what I'm saying? That I will ever, get into music, basically. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
because I remember this, man. I don't know if you remember this, but here we are. We're teenage kids. I remember coming in the garage because you guys lived in that duplex, right?
yeah,
By
yeah.
Hellier Park. No, was it Hellier Park? It was
I,
by Round Table Drive.
yeah, yeah. Round Table Drive. Yes.
There you go. And I remember I would go in there and you would have music bumping and stuff, and we were gonna go out. Remember, everyone was getting ready, and you would start just rapping. And I remember, bro, I would look at you like, yeah, man, I'd stick to your day job,
Yeah. Hey, me too. Believe me,
Hey,
me too.
and you used to like stomp your feet, and everything was about shooting this, shooting that,
Yeah,
f this,
yeah,
f that, and
bro.
I was just like, and I remember, I remember going, Ray, you should start like putting your words together, man. And you were like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was like I remember it was like strictly fun for you. So
Right.
we'll definitely get back into growing up in San Jose. But I'm so curious, what was the pinnacle point where you go, I'm serious about music and I'm gonna start writing?
I think what it was. I think what it was. I know for sure. I know, like you said, I know for sure I was not a good rapper. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because I've never even thought I wanted to be a rapper, to be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
But it came a time where for some reason I started rhyming a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I just started rhyming a little bit of words, not even like a full verse. I just started rhyming a little bit here and there. And then I think what really made it happen, one of my friends also, well, besides you from back in the days, but one
Right.
of my friends was like, bro, you have a nice tone. You have like a raspy voice,
Yeah.
for rapping. Like I think you have a nice voice to rap. You know what I mean? You should think about it, right? And I was
Hmm.
like, whatever, didn't matter to me. I was like, whatever. And then all of a sudden, the way I knew was the guys from Venezuela. We were at a function going on, and basically he signed me up for a contest, a rapping contest, right?
Where was this at?
In San Jose, actually, in
Okay.
San Jose, and it was at a nightclub too. And I had no idea. I had no idea they were gonna have reggaeton music or no idea. We were just at the club, and he decides to signs me up. All of a sudden, they're calling my name, and he's like, "Yo, they're calling you. Come on!" And he's like pushing me, like, "Go, go, go, go!" And I already have enough. I had enough drinks in my system, man,
Yeah. They had
that
that
I
courage.
decided to go. You know what I mean? So I went, bro. I went, and
Yeah.
long story short, yeah, I took first place. You know what I mean? I took first place, and it was just rapping, just a cappella. And then it's funny because when people started coming up to me, were like, "Hey, where can I find your music? Where do I buy your music?" Like, and I'm like in my head, I'm like, "Buy my music?" Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like, I'm not even a rapper. Like, I'm just having fun.
Yeah.
But I think what helped me was I was in the zone of alcohol,
Uh-huh.
and also I was having fun.
Right.
I think honestly that's what helped. I think because I wasn't really thinking about how to rhyme. I just remember just putting words together and like and it just went. It just went, bro. And I took first place.
Do you do
And
you
basically,
Do you
yeah.
remember? Do you remember the? Was it like freestyling off the top of your head? Or were you just like, fuck, I'm just gonna say whatever? Or was it
No, no,
something
it
like you
was
had already written down?
no, no. It was a top of the head. I didn't even know I could do that. Like I it was off top of my head, bro. I had no idea I could do that. Like no idea. I didn't plan it. Like it was crazy. I just almost kind of remember like it went in slow motion,
Uh huh.
and then when I was done rapping, everybody just yeah, I just heard the whole club lit up though,
Right.
and I was like, holy crap, right? And I was like, so I remember like parts, but I don't remember exactly what I said. For all I know, I could have been talking about, I don't know, what I'm saying, eating apples and oranges, you know what I'm saying, and but for some reason it worked, it worked, so I don't know.
So
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 that kind of gave me some inspiration.
right, that gave you the boost. That gave you that little that bug. That's what everybody
Yeah.
says.
Let
You
me
got bit.
let me let me crack a beer real quick. Give me 1 second.
Go for it, bro.
Hey, because the show is called Gloves Down, Beers Up. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right, my man.
Cheers, brother. Cheers,
Salud.
bro.
So then okay, so you get that bite, you get that bug bite of music,
Yep.
of being an artist. What was the next thing where you finally go like, hey, I got something here. I mean, because automatically, I'm pretty sure you heard this first. Like you were like, bro, you actually got the look of being an artist. You already
Right,
had
right, right.
you already had the tats. You worked out all the time and shit,
Mhm.
and the personality was that charisma already. Like you already had
Yeah.
that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
so when did you go like you won your first place and got that confidence boost? When did you then go, okay, now I need to put it on paper. Let's see, I could do it for fun
Yeah.
with liquid courage in my blood, but now
Yeah.
can I put it down on paper and can I put it on a track? Because that's like two different worlds. Everybody doesn't know
It
that.
is.
It's two different
It is.
worlds.
So when I won the when I win the first place in that contest, there was a record label. There was a record label there, and right after that contest, they approached me, you know, and they were legit. They're popping bottles. They have their own photographers. They have models. They had a bunch of models with them. They had about a good like 15 girls, like model girls with them.
Uh-huh.
So I knew they were serious about their stuff. But so they're like, we want to talk to you. One guy comes up to me. He's dressed up, wearing a tie. We want to talk to you. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I'm with a couple of friends, and they're like, go ahead, bring your friends with you. And then they're like, how long you been rapping? Like where can I find your music basically?
Right.
And I told them, I'm like, oh man, no, I'm not even a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just having fun. And I think the reason what happened was, just like you said, I always got like, you got the look, you got the tattoos and stuff like that. But I think what caught their attention was one of their artists. One of their artists was actually he performed,
Uh-huh.
and he was an artist, and I won. You see what I'm saying? I took first place, so I think they were kind of like, how did that happen? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, you have
right,
an
yeah.
artist, but how did this dude that not even a rapper, but he just wasn't shy about it, and I wasn't, brother. I wasn't shy about it. I
Right.
was I was I wasn't scared. Like, it was so weird. It was like a minute that bug, that artist bug or the rapper bug, whatever,
Right.
got me, man. After that, I wasn't shy. Like, I wasn't scared, like, at all. Like, I'm like,
I don't think you would be shy. I mean, dude, I mean, if you go back and think about at 5 year old to 9, being able to clean out and load an AK, right, and then and going to Brooklyn and seeing all the things you saw, then I mean, that stage is nothing for you. That's not even a jungle that's gonna make you go like, I'm afraid. You know what I mean? And I think that's why you were
right.
so natural at not being afraid of an audience looking at you because of what has prepared you to get there. That's just. But I feel for the dude that probably was sitting there going like, what? You've never
Yeah.
even picked up you've never even put ink on paper, and your ass just went up there and you
Mhm.
just fucking Scarface my ass. That's that's fucked up.
Yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact,
Uh-huh.
even afterwards, he was like, "No, I think you rap before. I think you're in the industry." And I'm like, "Well, you can think all you want, you know what I'm saying,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not. You know what I mean? This is the first time I ever rap. I rap in front of people a little bit, but never to the point where I'm on stage and
Right.
the DJ, that thump 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 pam 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 smoke. And I've never done that, but for some reason, like I said, that day, it was almost like meant to be. You know what I'm saying? It was
Right.
almost like the way everything worked out because when that happened, like I told you, I took first place, and bro, there was about for what I remember, there was at least about 15 of us total.
Wow.
You know, so I don't know. Maybe I don't even know if I was that good. Maybe it was because I don't know my tattoos. I
Mhm.
work out. I take care of myself. The ladies
Right.
were like lit up about that. I don't know, but
Yeah.
all I know is that I even had the dudes. The dudes were like whistling, yelling. So I
Uh-huh.
don't know, man. I remember having the fellas and the ladies. You know what I'm saying, going out for me. So I don't know.
You
You
know,
know.
when I think of like rappers, especially now, which a lot of rappers are not lyricists anymore, you know. Um, but the street credibility is what a lot of rappers were they chase after they make it,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
Um, that I think that's what fascinates me about your story, bro, is that because I've known you for so long,
Mhm.
and I know a lot of people are gonna end up sending me emails like shit right now after when I say this, but at one time we were crime partners, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, do you think this is why it never crossed your mind because you were a street kid, your whole life, like you were a guy that you know kind of went with whatever was going to happen was going to
Mhm.
happen,
Right.
and was
Yeah.
never afraid to get dirty,
Yeah.
get mud in the shoes, right, or on your face and stuff, so why did you? Because the reason I'm asking is because normally a lot of these like rappers that I hear now that are talking about being mafiosos or get blah 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 never really lived that lifestyle. But your
Mhm.
music is so versatile. Like I've heard you flow gangster rap,
Yes.
but then
Mhm.
really honestly, more of the majority of your music is really about uh, partying, having
Mhm.
a good time. Do you think that's because you live that style that you're like, well, I live that style. Like I know what that is. Let me talk about the glamour stuff of me, or like what you is it something that you're looking for in your life that you feel like you need to accomplish because you've lived the dark side of the corner of somebody's life.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, I could do both.
Hmm.
I can do both. If there is no, I can do gangster, grimy, sona music, which is calle music. You know what I'm saying? Like street music. I can do that all day because I lived it. You know.
Right,
And if you notice, I have a few tracks, but I'm not going to talk about that all the time because I don't need to.
right,
When my resume, when somebody really needs to see my street resume, it's there.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like I constantly have to talk about. Of course, I'll drop a grimy track, gangster track here and there, but most of the time I want to make people dance. You know what I mean? I want the ladies to have a good time, and a lot of my club music. If you really pay attention to my music, I put women on pedestals. You know what I'm saying? I talk about
Right.
because I was raised by my mother. You know what I'm saying? So I put women very high. I talk about women very high. I put women on pedestals. You know what I'm saying? Because I was raised by one. You know what I'm saying? So I can do both. So to your answer, yeah, I can do gangster when I want to. Or for the most part, I like to do reggaeton, música urbana, club music. Dance
Right.
music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah.
I was surprised when I remember when you had told me, "Hey, I'm doing reggaeton, I'm rapping." I honestly, I was like, "He's gonna do. I guess he's gonna do gangster rap, right?" But then you sent me like your first track, and I was just like, "Hold on, is this Ray Ray?" Because I wasn't paying attention, right? And then I turned, what the hell? Like, it just shows you what creativity as an artist, what can bring out. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I've known you to be kind of a really street homeboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and really not being able to show because in our culture it's always machismoism. We're
Yeah.
hard men. It's very difficult to break us. Um,
Mhm.
and then so when I saw that, I was just like, okay, this is different. This is
Mhm.
this is different. Okay, I know my homeboy Ray Ray, but I don't know the artist Fachento.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that, bro. Let's talk. Where'd you come up with this name? Where did this name come from?
Well, it's Fachento. Fachento is a Nicaraguan name,
Mhm.
from Nicaragua,
Right,
and basically what Fachento means, uh, Fachento, bro, means cocky. Like I mean, I'm talking about cocky. You know what I mean? Cocky, but it also means the boss. Like it also, so it has those two meanings where, like, like basically, Pachento means I'm cocky or I'm the boss. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I chose. The reason why I chose that name is because I'm the opposite, completely the opposite of what I chose. So it's when people from Nicaragua hear Fachento, to them it's like, oh, and then they see my appearance, how I look, right? Automatically they say this guy, it's bad. Not bad, but this guy is cocky. He
Right.
thinks he's everything and anything. But when they meet me, it almost gives me that chance to break the ice because they're already assuming I'm cocky. They're already assuming I'm stuck up. You know what I mean? They're already assuming that
Right.
I'm this guy that doesn't care about no one. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then they meet me, and then they're just blown away. They're just like, "Oh my God, you're not the way you carry yourself, the way you are doesn't even match your name." You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? But keep in mind, also Pachento means boss in
right.
Nicaraguan. And then that's why I say Fachento, and then in English, boss. You know what I mean? Fachento boss. So it's almost like I'm saying in Spanish and English. El jefe boss. You know what I'm saying? Or el patrón boss. You know what I mean? El
Right.
patrón, the boss. It's like I'm translating the word. Like you know when you hear el jefe, the boss, el
Right.
patrón, the boss. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
El mero mero, the boss.
Right. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I figured out why it wasn't coming through the music in here because I had it on mute like a pendejo. So let me put it on really quick.
If you ain't got no dreams, son, you gotta be the best. It's our time to shine. Gotta be the best. You pray for peace, I pray for war. Gotta be the best. Gotta be. We are the rookie.
There's a little clip of that there, man. What
Yeah.
was the toughest song for you, bro, that you had to write? You're in the studio, you're under pressure because there's always those times in the studio you're under pressure. You gotta produce, you gotta dish out things. You only have a certain amount of time frame to lay down on track because, as they say, money is time, especially when it's about laying tracks.
Yeah.
What was one of the songs in your experience was really hard for you to produce and but surprised you that you even got across the creativity that you were looking for?
For me, it's been more like club music, like romantic music.
Mm-hmm.
That's being more challenging for me. You know what I'm saying? Because just like you mentioned early, me and you know each other for a long time.
Right.
Um, because of my lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like my background um, wasn't really allowing me to be that romantic guy. You know what I mean? The
Right.
like party guy. You know what I'm saying? Um, my background was more coming from the streets. You know what I mean? So that's so much easier for me to make. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I lived it. You know what I mean? I'm used to that, right? So going back to your question, the thing that was for me was more challenging was, yeah, more than anything, being a little bit romantic. You know what I'm saying? Like dropping like a ballad, like a ballad song, right? Like something softer, something more pop, a little poppy, you know what I mean? Or even reggaeton, you know what I mean? Dance music. It was a little bit of challenging for me in the beginning because, I have all the tracks that I had before that I've never released that were street tracks, right? Like, street music, right?
Right.
Gangs music, block music, calle music. But never released them because I just felt like I don't know, man. I just felt like I didn't need to anymore. It's like the way I looked at it. It's like, you know what? Everybody wants to rap gangster or talk about gangster. Go ahead. You know what I mean? We'll see. We'll see what happens when your resume comes out. You know what I'm saying? When somebody
Yeah.
really pull your card, when
Yeah.
somebody really sees your card, and you're not about that, that's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
My thing, I'm like, I don't want to talk about that, because if anybody wants to ever check my resume, go for it. You want to pull out my card, go for it. You're gonna be surprised, actually.
Right.
You're gonna be like, oh, I did not know you did that, this and that, this and that. And it's like, yeah, you know.
It brings me to think about like that kid 69, who I'm not I'm like the biggest fan of his music. I think I respect him more because he's a Mexicano. And
Yeah.
being out of New York, his father was Puerto Rican and his mom was Mexican, but he
Yep.
seemed to embrace the Mexican part of him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, when he came out, he was dropping all these songs. But here I am, a guy from that still holds on to the '90s hip hop, like from Biggie, Tupac, Gangstar, Black Moon,
Yeah.
that generation of music, right? But he
Yeah.
comes out and this guy makes all this noise now. But here's a kid that didn't live that lifestyle,
Right.
talked that lifestyle, and then when it came down to being part of that lifestyle, he decided to turn informant for the FBI, right? To get lesser time. What do you
Of
what do you,
course.
what do you what do you think about that, man? What do you think about how it's not even new generation of the hip hop rappers, but it's like new generation of everything now. You know what I mean? Like, let me ask, are you surprised that this kid decided to rat on his crew? Because I mean, I don't know if you checked out that video that I sent
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, go ahead. Good. Give me your thoughts about that, bro.
well, first of all, you got to. First of all, let me tell you, 6ix9ine. I've known about 6ix9ine a while back. He's a young guy. He's a young kid.
Kid,
You
right.
know, he's different. He likes the fact that he's different, and he likes to be different, and he embraces that he's different. The thing is, if you remember correctly, me being in the music industry, um, people didn't like him no matter what.
Right.
You got to think that this kid had haters even before he started talking all that gangster stuff. People didn't like him around before. Why? Because that he was different. So that comes from the beginning. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's another thing that what I'm about to say that a lot of people don't realize. They don't think about that. The thing is, me coming to New York, coming from New York, and seeing what they did. For an example, because he's still young. He's still 4 years old, young millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the kid's a millionaire.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what happens is, bro, uh, I'm gonna tell you what it is. The thing is, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of rappers in New York, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, especially, listen to what I'm about to say, especially African Americans,
Mm-hmm.
they don't like the fact that there is a Mexican kid running the game.
Hmm.
That's all there is. The fact of the matter is, the rap and hip hop, it's a African American music. That's the
Hmm.
African American flag. So then you have somebody like Tekashi, Mexican kid, rainbow hair, looks different.
Right.
He's got that screaming voice, that screaming rapping voice. He's different. He's
Right.
different. So what it is to me personally, besides the whole, people, he's a rat and he snitch.
Right. Right.
Way before that, a
Right.
lot of rappers didn't like him because of the fact that he's Mexican. And
Right.
he's Mexican, and he's making a lot of noise, and he's making more noise than everybody else, and he's young.
I
You
think
know what I mean? That's my take on that part.
right. I think I'm gonna tell you. I think this is where I think he fucked up. Okay,
Mhm.
is that he embraced the culture of these Bloods that he had no clue what it was about. I mean, he's an outsider.
Right.
Whether he
Yeah.
was a black kid, Chinese kid, Puerto Rican, any of that, these guys didn't grow up with them. You know what I mean? It was like us, like when in our own neighborhood, right? You got to admit this. If a new guy came in, he had to prove himself.
Of
He
course.
just didn't
Of
like
course.
join our whole crew. This guy
No, you
had
get
to
jumped
prove.
in. You get
Right.
jumped in.
Right. But this kid had money already. You know, and so to me that was a wolf ticket automatically because he didn't live that life. I mean, yeah, he was from New York.
He lived there, but he
Yeah,
didn't live that
but he
life.
didn't live that he didn't live on those corners with these other cats, these other kids that were actually living the lifestyle of being a thug. And I think
Right.
that's where he screwed up because he felt, well, because I'm a rapper and I'm now becoming a very recognized rapper, I can use your guys' clout. I can use your guys' resume to as an insurance. And I think that's what I could be completely wrong too, but I think that that's what hurt him. And that's what turned because you know what, man, you know, greed isn't anything, whether it's a big business or a small business. And these guys saw a mark and they went for it. You know what I mean? And yeah, he
Yeah.
ratted and everything, but my question most folks is that if you're not from that lifestyle, if you're not from that lifestyle, are you telling me that you would have stuck true of because I don't know about you, Ray, but to me when I see these kids do this, they're portraying a role because they
Yeah.
think it's a movie. You know what I mean? It's kind of become
Right.
like a movie to
Right.
these guys, right?
Yeah. It is.
You know what I mean? And I think that he finally was at this point. He's locked up. Found out that his own homeboys, who he thought was his homeboys, kidnapped his ass,
Mhm.
took his jewelry, but then they went across the line by I mean, okay, they were banging his baby mama. Okay,
Baby mama.
that I'm like, but to me, the crossing the line was, bro, you were trying to kidnap his mom.
That's where the cross. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Baby mama is. You know.
my baby mama's already like right there. You're not that you know me go get a gun and come at you. Because that's the bros code. That's the homeboy code. You never
Yeah.
mess with another, whether it's your ex. If she's got
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
kid, you just don't go there, right?
Yeah. You don't go after baby mamas.
You don't do that, you know. But to me, how I felt, and I never justified anybody being a rat, un rata, or nothing like that. But then when I hear like, yo, these guys were trying to kidnap his mom. That's his mom, bro.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But that's why I say that's where he went wrong was that he decided after playing this role of a gangster that he was like, cut, I'm done. And I think that's what hurt any more of his credibility of now trying to pretend that he's, I mean, because he's out right now and he's talking mad shit
Of
again.
course.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but I think at the same time I'm like you said, he's a kid. And I hear that now very clear. This is a kid.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, man.
Let me add something to that.
Go for it.
Well, it takes two to tango, right? It takes two to tango. So, what it is to me, it was more like a business deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was more like a business deal. He lives in the same block. It's something like this. The guys that he was hanging around with, they probably knew him when he was younger, right? They knew him that he was younger.
No, they didn't.
Maybe he started rapping, and they saw this kid like he's got potential, basically. He's
No,
got potential.
this is how it went down. He was messing with a manager that had affiliation with that gang,
Hmm.
and he asked that manager, I believe it was the manager, hey, can you bring that gang, which was what triple red? I don't even remember.
Treyway.
Yeah, Treyway. Can you bring them to my video? And he did, and he provided all the weed and drinks and food, whatever. That's what he did. And then this is what they saw, bro. It's like when you get locked up, right? And
Business.
you see this fish comes in, and then you find out that this fish has got a shitload of money in his commissary. What do you
Exactly.
what do you do?
You hit him up.
You hit him up. You throw out that hook and then you fish him in, right? And that's what they did with this kid. They saw, hey, we can tax this guy. He's making a shitload of money. We're giving him the image. We're allowing him to floss our resume as a street
Yep.
gang around his
Yep.
neck. That was like his death row emblem, right?
Yeah.
Being having Treyway and saying that he was part of the Treyway gang when he was never initiated. He was never really brought into. You know what I mean? He was just automatically told, "Hey, go for it. As long as you pay us."
Yeah.
And give us this fee, we'll allow you to walk around as one of us and stuff. And that's what I mean. He played this role, but then when it got heated and serious, and it got heated and serious because they kidnapped the guy, slapped him around, put it on video, and then they try to kidnap their moms. And that's when I was like, I think if they didn't bang his old lady, the baby mama, and they didn't try to kidnap his mom, I think, Ray, tell me if I'm wrong, brother. I think he would have kept his mouth shut.
And there's a big possibility, that he would have kept his mouth shut. But again, I'm gonna go back to him being young too. You know what I'm saying? And the
Right.
thing is this, right? Like in reality, at the end of the day, he's never really been about that life.
Right.
All he did was put in a suit, like a gangster suit, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And looking at him from the outside, you think he's gangster, right? Because he's got that gangster suit. But at the same time, it's like, maybe he was around. Like, I mean, New York. I remember New York was pretty ghetto, so I don't doubt it that he was around goons.
Oh, yeah. I
He
mean,
was
it's
around,
yeah.
around some real goons, right? But
Right.
again, it's just since he lives on the block, it's kind of like same play. A kid that lives in front of them, and they don't mess with the kid because they watch that kid grow up with them. Basically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not a gang, basically. You know what I mean? But with him, I think it was definitely a business deal, bro. I mean,
Right.
however you see it, they're like, okay, he was making for a lot of people. You got to understand that I mean, before this, I already watched this kid because I want to learn more because of the music.
Right.
Just to see what he's doing younger, basically, right? I don't even care about the gangster part or whatever because
Right.
when you're a real person, you can read another real person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can read you learn to read real people. Like you can just have a conversation with somebody and you know what I'm saying? You can connect eyes and if this dude is about it or not. Like that's an old school way. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
an old school way. Body language. You see how he carries himself, how he talks about himself. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
he was always loud. If you remember, he was always loud. A lot of movement, a lot of jumping, dancing. Like, but that's his style. But what I'm trying to say is, to me, it was a business deal. It's like this guy is gonna bring in a lot of money. All we gotta do is give him a big cloud. Everybody press play, share, 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 share.
Mhm.
And that's more money for us, more money for us, more money for us. And think about it like this: the little gang that he had, those were his security guards. If you think about it,
Yeah, man.
so he didn't really have friends, like homies,
Yeah.
friends. Like
He only had his
in
brother.
reality,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But he didn't really have that, bro, because when I mean, look at him right now. He's pretty much solo. But I'll tell you this: he's a smart kid, and mark my words, because he's still a kid to me. He's 24.
Yeah.
Mark my words. If he's gonna be on top of the charts very soon again, on top of the charts. Numbers.
That makes me wonder because look, the whole let's go back, bro, in in the 90s, back in San Jose, which a lot of folks that if you're because everybody thinks LA was this fighting ground. Northern California was very equal in a lot of ways. There was a lot of gang affiliations.
Yeah.
There was a lot of territories in San Jose that you couldn't walk through at the night time, or if you were not from that neighborhood, there was
can't walk in there.
you couldn't go in there. Remember that shit? And so I wonder this, and this is probably going to sound pretty fucked up, but I think this. Being that this guy got out because of the coronavirus and he told the judge I got asthma. Okay. So it's going to affect me. I need to get out and see my family. If this kid, bro, doesn't get checked or if something doesn't happen to him, that tells me everything I need to know about a lot of these so-called, cliques that are around right now in the millennium because they don't hold that much weight. If you're gonna allow this one dude to get locked up, rat you out, and your main men's are locked up, and none of your soldiers, and you claim you guys were like this big gang and you were doing all this shit. If none of your soldiers get this guy within the end of this year or beginning of next year, you know what I mean? Kids need to start questioning: does this stuff really exist? Is this, you know what I mean? Is this like the cartel? Because shit, I can see anybody from the cartel ratting all the big boys, and then being able to get on Instagram and get
well,
2 million eyes on them.
first of all, you're not gonna see that with the cartels. I mean, it's
Right.
just everybody knows that. LA gangsters know that. San Jose gangsters know that. You know what I mean? Like cartels, the cartels are just like the mob. Remember back in the days, the mob, the Italian mob.
Right.
You know, it's just the Italian mobs. They wear suits. They look like businessmen. You know what I mean? They were straight up. You will see a gangster back in the day. He looked like a businessman.
Yeah.
But that man was a straight, sicario, hitman. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what I'm talking about cartels. I mean, everybody knows like like real cartels. I'm not talking about like movies, and they don't play. They don't play around.
Right.
And you got to do dirt. If you put it this way, in the cartels, you got to do dirt just to live. If you want to live longer, you got to keep doing dirt. The minute
Yeah.
you stop doing dirt, that's when you die, because you're no good to them anymore.
Right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's the bottom line. You know what I mean with that.
Yeah.
With that, but you said this kid is out, and I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't think he's too big, bro. He's got too much clout.
That's true.
Tekashi, he don't need nobody. I'm gonna tell you right now, he don't need nobody. He's got so much money that he's gonna have FBI agents being his security. And believe me, I
Woo.
mean, I don't see him going away anytime soon, bro,
Yeah.
at all.
And he's
That
no
kid's
threat.
smart.
He's
a
no
smart kid.
right. And he's no threat like the way Tupac was a threat to the
Right.
government. Because Tupac,
Exactly.
right? Tupac spoke against the man. This kid's not
Exactly.
speaking about against the man. He's speaking about him making all this shitload of money and stuff. Let me ask you this, because we all know that there's certain areas in hip hop. Reggaeton, I would consider that Spanish hip hop in a way, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a different? Like, have you ever had to prove yourself? Like, has anybody ever stepped up to you to find out your resume in the studio or even at a performance? Like, have you ever had that situation where you had to go back and revert to the 90 time era of yourself?
I have. Let me tell you when you want me to tell you. Yeah, definitely. I've been remember everything that you do, especially in the music, right? It has to do a lot with loyalty. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Loyalty and being real for the most part. And you got to understand, when you work with producers, different producers, they get to learn by working with you if you're real or not, if you're fake
Right.
or not. You know what I'm saying? So they know, they sense it themselves, because they see so many different artists, so many different cultures, so many different nationalities. So they get to see all that, right? They get
Yeah.
to see all that. But yeah, definitely, it happened to me. It happened to me twice, where I was at the studio, and the producer that I was working with, there was somebody saying stuff about me that doesn't even know me, never even met me, just because of the fact that he saw pictures of me, like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, all over the place, and videos and stuff. He was assuming, so he was assuming, right? So
Uh-huh.
this guy decided to open his mouth before I even said anything, before I even got to the studio. My producer was told the guy, like, hey, do you really want to know what this dude's about? Don't be saying stuff, you know what I mean? Like, put it this way, the producer was even willing to drop this guy to, like, fuck, I ain't working with you no more. Because the guy that you're talking about, you know what I'm saying? The guy you're talking about, which it was me, my producer was like, bro, he's hella humble. Number one, he's humble
Right.
as shit, and he's real as shit. So if you want to say something about him, he said, wait here, I'll call him, and you can tell him to his face.
Right.
And the guy was like, "Oh, my bad. I didn't know you guys were tight like that." And he's like, "No, no, it's not about being tight. I'm just telling you that the dude that you're talking about, he's humble as shit and he's real as shit. And you over here talking, and you don't even know the guy.
Right.
Just because you saw videos and pictures, you going based on what he looked like. You know what I'm
Look at this
saying?
pretty boy.
So
Look at this pretty
he was
boy.
assuming
Right.
without even knowing me. So then I told him, next time this guy comes in, hit me up. And that's exactly what happened. That producer texted me, he's here, boom. I
Yeah.
was there, bro. I was there, 15, 20. Boom, I got there. And I walked up to the dude, and and I didn't walk up. I didn't walk up to him like to hurt him. I just wanted him to know. I walked up to him and I was like, I introduced myself, like, I'm like, hey man, what's up? I'm Fachento Boss. What's up, man? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? You
Uh-huh.
know me? And he was like, he was right away. He got nervous. He was like, oh no, no, I don't know you. I'm like, do you know me? He's like, no, I don't know you. I'm like, okay, so if you don't know me, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Because out of respect, because we have that too. There's a
Right.
code. There's a code that me and you have,
Right.
old school code. There's certain things that you can't do in certain place because out of respect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So out of respect to my producer, I didn't do nothing to the dude in there, right?
Right.
I could have played the ghetto card and the gangster card, whatever you want
Right.
to call
Right.
it, but I didn't. I was just the dude was like, man, I'm so sorry. He apologized to me right away. He was like, I'm so sorry, man. I just, you know what he told me? I actually wanted to meet you. Seriously, this is the God on the street. He's like, I actually wanted to meet you, and I don't know why I said that. This is what he tell. I don't know why I said that. And I told him, I'm like, listen, I'm like, I accept your apology. I take it.
Right.
But next time, don't say shit like that when you don't know the person. You know what I'm saying? Like I told him right now, I'm here. I'm calling you out. You know what I mean? I'm calling you out
Right.
in your studio, in your session, in your studio session. You want to know me, we can step outside.
Right.
If you really want to know what I'm about, you know what I mean? Like, or we can do it however you want to do it. You got boys, I got boys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It goes down to like, it's like you got guns, we got guns. You got knives, we got knives. You
Right.
got
Right.
gloves, we got gloves. You got beer, we got beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell me
No.
something
Definitely.
new.
Yeah.
But the guy, but the guy did apologize. I shook his hand.
Uh-huh.
We squashed it. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, we're good. I said, we're good. And now I seen him again twice from,
Uh-huh.
hey, what's up? He became a fan. You know what I'm saying? He actually told me he became a fan. So I was like, right on.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes to shake them for them to
Yeah.
realize.
Yeah. Definitely.
How much? Let me ask because So let's go into a little bit about your background here in when you arrive in San Jose, California. And here's the thing is you have what, 4 or 5 brothers?
I got 4 brothers and 1 sister.
Right.
I mean, there is 4 of us and 1 sister.
Right. Right. Okay, yeah, that there. How much is your brother's part of your life, bro? Like how much is it that they kind of mold you into Fachento the Boss? Do you,
Uh, they don't, to be honest with you, they don't really have anything to do with me when it comes to the music because of the fact that it's nothing personal, like
Mhm.
um, my brothers they support me, of course,
Right.
100%. They support what I do. They believe in what I do, and they always tell me keep rocking, keep rocking.
Mhm.
But my brothers are more like like if one of my brothers for an example, if one of my brothers an MMA fighter, that's what he's gonna focus on. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And and me, all I gotta say is always, you know, I wish you the best. Keep training. You know what I mean? Keep
Mhm.
your hands up at all times. That type of thing, and watch yourself. But
What
they
brother's this
support me
one?
more
What
like
what what brother? What brother's
I
this
think they
one?
support me more mentally, more than
Uh-huh.
anything mentally. They talk to me, and stuff. But as far as like support, if I travel, they're there, or if I for videos, I don't ask none of my family for nothing. When it comes to videos, everything I do is independent. Everything I do is out of my pocket. Everything I do is out of me. I don't ask my family for 1 cent when it comes to music. So,
Uh-huh.
but that's my choice. I've
Right.
never really asked them. I've never. I don't know. To be honest with you, I've never tested that theory. Where like, can I borrow some money for a video? You know what I'm saying? I've
Mhm.
never tested that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think I want to either. I
But
just.
did but my, so my but no, so my question is that how much though do you think they contribute to the character or the artist of Fanchetto, like not financially, but as your character, who you are?
Oh, a lot, bro.
Hmm.
A lot. You know what I mean? My every each of my sibling has, obviously different every each of my brothers have different personalities, right? Obviously.
Right.
So, I definitely they play a big part. You know what I mean? Just in general, just on their personality alone, how they're a little different, that plays a part on what I do when it comes to music. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
on how I talk to them, how I respect them, how they respect me, how we dialogue with each other. You know what I mean? We talk about a little bit of politics sometimes, about just we talk. You know what I'm saying, about everything and anything, and I think some of it, a lot of it actually. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. A lot of it comes. I feed myself from their personalities. You know what I'm saying? Like I take it in basically from their personalities. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
make my move.
Do you think it was easier for you, bro, even going when you went from Nicaragua to Brooklyn to California? Did it make it easier to have your siblings, because you guys are not that far apart in age? I think it's only one of your brothers, right? It's
Yeah,
uh,
my older brother, but all of us are like by 1 year apart.
right. Yeah. So that did that help you? Do you think that helped you stay humble and just stabilize your life a little bit?
Um, definitely, definitely. Obviously not in the beginning. Um, as far as like stabilize my life, not from the beginning, but I think because we were all in the same boat. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like me and my brothers, even though we're not twins, we were twins, all of us,
Hmm.
because we were so close that if I'm fighting, he's fighting. If
Right.
I'm in church, he's in church. If I'm not in church, he's not in church. You know what I mean? If I'm robbing something, he's robbing something.
Right.
So we were definitely play a big part. You know what I mean? We were always like always had each other's back. To you know what I mean? To
Right.
whatever. You know. So definitely,
Is
definitely. I
that
don't
is
know.
that something your mom embedded it in you guys, or is that something
Yes.
that your dad did? That's your
No,
mom.
my
Hmm.
mother, for sure. No question about it. My mom used to be always like, even before she passed, my mother was like, "You guys got to be each other's best friends." You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
guys got to be, yeah, brothers and best friends with each other. You know what I mean? So that play a big part since a young age.
Hmm.
She always told us, you guys got to be close. Oh, she used to say that. Oh, you know that old saying, one stick, easy to break. Two stick gets a little harder. Three sticks, a little harder.
Right.
Four stick, you might not break.
Yeah.
My mother told us that at a very young age, very very young age. So that play a big part, definitely.
You know, how I know you and your brothers and your sister were very close to your mom.
Yeah,
She was the definitely the glue in the family. Um,
definitely.
and when she passed, I was there, with you and your brothers Roger and George and your sister Vanessa. Um, and obviously everybody mourned differently and stuff.
Right.
I don't remember though, Ray, you mourning. I mean, is your music part of that? Do you think is that what you contribute in your music? Is there, or is it the strive that you have? Is that your way of telling your mom I'm okay?
Um, I don't think it's necessarily that. I don't think I got to really more like in front of. It was more like a front, like I would put,
Hmm.
to my friends and people around me. But I think it was more like I will break down. I will literally break down. Like an addict. Like when when a drug addict. When they break down and they cry and they just. I had my moments. I had my moments, but I always had, like you said it earlier. I always had that machismo. That machismo, like you can't be weak. And my father was that type of person that you can't show weakness, you can't be weak. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and because of the lifestyle, the way we live, definitely behind doors, yeah, I definitely broke down. Definitely broke down a lot of times. Cry, and then kind of like got it out of me, and then and then moved on with my life, and then cry again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so I will vent differently. I think I mourn differently. Not really with my brothers. I mourn more separately. I did it a few times with my brothers, where like we all shared that pain and we all cried together, and miss my mom together, and wish that she was here. But I had a lot of times I mourned on my own,
Mm-hmm.
privately, separately, and a lot of it was, I don't know, I guess I don't know why I was just too shy, or afraid for my family to see my me being vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Right.
To me, that was weak. You know what I'm saying? It's just that machismo. Going back to that machismo again. I don't know, but I definitely broke down a lot of times. Definitely a lot of times.
Like every family, like and especially like in Latinos families, because we can't speak for black families or white families, but in
Yeah.
Latinos families, we always have either a tia or even a sibling that believes that the afterlife or spirits. Is there any of that? Like, does any of your siblings believe like, hey, like I felt mom here, or because my grandmother who pretty much kind of raised me, she ended up passing about a couple of years back, bro, and it was like it hit me like I I've had people die in my family, right? But this one hit me like a freaking freight train. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't
Oh,
even get out of bed.
yeah.
I wasn't the cheerful David that everybody knew, you
Hmm.
know. But my mom is one of those people that believe in all that, and my mom would be like, like, oh, I had a dream about your grandma, blah 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 blah. Is there any of that in your family among you guys in your guys' circle or no?
Yeah. Definitely my brothers. I think my brothers are being the the most lucky ones, because of the
Hmm.
fact that they're the ones that have able to dream about my mom more often than I have. I will pray. I will literally pray to dream about her. You know what I mean? Just to see her in my dreams, and it took some years, man. Like I will pray like on the daily. I will pray and I will ask God for me to let me see her on my dreams, at least in my dreams, And for some reason, I don't know why she never visited me.
Hmm.
I don't know why. To this day, sometimes I ask, maybe I did something more wrong, but I'm like, but a lot of my brothers did a lot of the things that I did. So I'm like, what was different about me that that it wasn't allowing me to dream about her, because I would literally go to sleep thinking, tonight I'm gonna dream about my mom. I want to dream about her. I want to see her, just by myself, talking to myself, like I'm gonna see my mother today. I'm gonna dream about her today, and then on top of that, I will pray
Hmm.
that I want to see her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely.
And it didn't happen. It didn't happen for a long time, man. For years. Like, I mean, it took some years and years. It took some years and years for me to get for me to get to see my mother. You know what I'm saying?
You
Uh,
think that was like subconsciously, like because you were trying to fight that emotions, like we're talking about being machismo, you're just trying to fight that emotion. You think that that's part of it? Because I know that when she passed, my grandma, that 'cause my grandmother, dude, was like she was a gangster herself, bro. My
mhm.
grandmother was like, I come home at 3 in the morning and I try to be hella quiet because I used to live with her, and I would walk through the the little hallway like tiptoe, took off my shoes, and then she would get out and be like, "Ay, mijo, ya estás en la casa, quieres algo para comer?" And it's like three. I'd be like, "No, grandma, go back to bed." She'd be like, "No, no, no, no," and she would cook up, bro, and
Oh my God, yeah.
you know what I mean. And so when she passed, like I couldn't even remember her face, bro. Like I struggled with that. Like I couldn't remember her face, and then I didn't even cry. You know what I mean? Like I never allowed myself to like break,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why like I was having trouble like getting up. Like I had no self motivation,
Yeah.
whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
And then finally, I think my breaking point, bro, was I don't want to say I forgot about her, but I forgot about missing her. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know? And then
Yeah.
finally I had a dream, bro, and I woke up and I told my wife about it. And I told my wife like it was like I had like a long conversation with my grandmother. My grandmother was telling me she was okay, don't worry about me, blah 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 blah.
Beautiful.
And I was like, okay, and that was it. It was like a light switch. I went from here that boom and stuff. So I know in my experience I felt like I was holding back because that's what she would have wanted me to do, was not hurt for her. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, let's go away from that because that's bringing us down, bro.
Let me crack one open. Hold on.
So we have to say that's probably one of the lowest points of your life experience, man. I mean, there's nothing more.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? What's the highest point in your life, or do you think you've even made that yet? That you've made some high points in your life, but because we were always looking to get a step higher. But do you feel like you've had one big moment where you're like, wow, man, I did this. Like this is from me.
I will say it. I mean, I don't really have to think about it. It'll definitely be my daughter.
Mm,
Being a father for the first time. You know what I mean? Well, I only have one kid,
right,
so being a father, being a father was like, I mean, I was on a cloud. You know what I'm saying? And
right,
and I think that's definitely. I'm 100% sure that's what changed my life. Going from negative to becoming a positive person was because I was a complete person before my daughter was born, but yeah, just that was my biggest. I was on a cloud. You know what I'm saying? That was my biggest. Uh, what's the word that you just used? You just told me
accomplishment.
accomplishment that I was
Yeah,
like, oh my god, that's me. You know,
right,
that's my daughter because I grew up without a father. My father was in my life all the way to like 6 years old, and then he left. So you know what I'm saying.
right,
So he leaves. So I've never wanted my kid to experience that. You know what I mean? Like I've never, even when I was in that relationship, I always told myself, if this never works out, I'm always gonna stay for her. You know what I mean?
right,
Basically, I'm always gonna raise my daughter. Period. I'm not gonna be a part-time dad. I'm gonna be a full-time father, even if me and the mom are separated. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest accomplishment that I'm very proud. You know what I mean? Me and my
yeah,
daughter are insanely close. You know what I mean? Respects me 1,000%. I don't fight with her. I don't argue with her. Really, I mean, I was a strict dad, so
right.
there is a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear that my daughter, she does have, you know what I mean, towards me, but also a lot of respect. But I also give her a lot of love and respect as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's one thing. Before we sign off and all that, I want to point out, man, is that I've known you and your brothers and your sister for years, and the one thing I can always say about you guys is the parenting. I mean, you guys have all done a phenomenal job with your kids. Since
Thank you.
I've known you guys, you know what I mean. And
Thank you.
yeah, you know what I mean. I'm going to close this with a story, really quick, and then we'll sign off.
Yeah.
A story about you and your family, of why I was so close to you guys and why you guys meant so much to me. You want to talk about a down ass family, and,
Thank you.
and we talk about our past. You're talking about your credentials and where you had come from and all that. We both grew up in San Jose and came across each other at a very young age. And I remember one time, and this is back in our trouble years, right? I was on the run. I don't know if you remember. Yeah, you had to remember this. I was on the run.
Of
Remember?
course.
I
Yeah.
was on the run. The cops were looking for me, and I needed somewhere to go
Yes.
because I couldn't go home. I couldn't go to like family members because the cops knew exactly where to track me. And your brother, it was Roger and you brought me back to your guys' place and say, just stay here, D, and don't worry. And somehow, remember this, the police got your guys' phone number and called. And I didn't know what to say because they asked for me. And your sister Vanessa at the time, who's the youngest in your guys' family, the clan, the youngest of the clan,
Yeah.
gets on the phone. And this is how gangster she was. She was like, this is David's girlfriend. He's been with me all day and all night.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And the
Wow,
cop was like, what? And then she gives me the phone. And that was the alibi. And I remember we ran with that. And I was
You
just
took me
like,
back. Yes. You took me back, brother.
and I'm like, bro, if that's not what you call a down ass familia for, we were street kids. And
Yeah, we were.
we were
We
street kids.
definitely were.
Yeah. We really depended on each other, man.
Yeah.
You came out from the jungle of Nicaragua to the concrete jungle of Brooklyn to the jungle of palm trees in California, and we really needed each other to get each other's out and to get to where we're at now, man. Bro, I want to thank you, bro, for taking this time, man, and really just sitting here and chopping it up with me on gloves down and beers up, bro. It was a pleasure, bro. I forget how much memories, man, that we had, and I always thought I told you when I called you to do this interview with me, I said, man, I'm so fascinated and interested in your past and the overall of the man you've become, of where you started. I think is just phenomenal, bro. And if I could say one thing, brother, I think that your mom is looking down and big smile, and she's like,
"Thank you.
You got it, mijo." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, brother. So again, Fachento here, Boss with us on Gloves Down, Beers Up. Just to sign us off, we're gonna, play one of his songs here, and you can go find him. I got it all here, right here on Fachento Boss and at his Instagram, and go get on his YouTube. But I'll let Fachento tell us other places where you guys can find the album, because I know you can get on Apple, iTunes, and etc. Right? But go ahead, bro. Tell us where we can find everything.
Yeah, you can basically find my upcoming album in literally in every digital platform. From Apple Music to YouTube Music to iHeartRadio to Django Radio. We're working to get on Pandora soon. That's one of the things that we're working on. But pretty much when it comes to the digital platform, I'm literally all over the place. And one of the things that I'm very happy and proud and thankful and thank God for my music. It's getting a lot of play overseas, which I'm very proud. My music, it's in a lot of different countries, getting play, and becoming the number one song in a lot of different countries. So I'm very proud of that. And and follow me on Facebook, Fachento Boss. Follow me on Instagram, Fachento Boss Official. Follow me on YouTube, Fachento Boss, to check out my videos. And I want to thank everybody that supports my movement, my music, my Latino movement, and also David. Thank you, my brother. I love you, man. Thank you so much for the interview. And this is a privilege. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys. And gloves down, you know what I mean? Beers up. I love it, man. Thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck, and keep rocking, my brother. And God bless you and your family. But we'll do this again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need to, because there's still a lot of stuff that we have talked about. I mean, I think we just kind of scratched the surface of things course. That because we got stories. If anything, bro, we got some stories that we could actually even touch on. Speaking about like the bond of your brothers and us, and some of the dirt that we kicked up and survived through, man. It's kind of crazy. But here goes really quick. One of your songs here from I want to say it's I'm not sure if your second album or what. You could pretty much tell us.
Fachento Boss, el futuro.
First album.
viéndote crazy, manejándote loca, prendiendo tu cuerpo semillas por horas, porque yo soy fuego extremo, pasión que te quema, deja que te prenda mami, tu imaginación es running wild, cada vez que te toco como la vendes, aunque me acabo, yo sé que soy número uno, como son las cosas, primero me amaste.